Hey everyone, very rare that I go live anymore. Very rare that I go live, but I'm here. I have to talk to you guys about this. This is the kind of thing that makes me proud to be a journalist. But this video is brought to you by Ageless Multi-Collagen. If you guys are familiar with collagen and its role in aging, you probably know that collagen production, it decreases 10% in our bodies every decade. What most don't know, however, is that typical collagen supplements found on store shelves are often filled with harmful ingredients and chemicals that make us look like we're aging much quicker, which is why I highly recommend Health with Beans. Users, including myself, experience a more youthful appearance, decreased wrinkles, and smoother skin within days of taking this amazing multi-collagen. Try it today for 51% off by going to healthwithbeans.com or by visiting the link below to get your 51% off. Hello, everybody. Hello. Okay, so I got to get through this real quick. This blows my mind. I'm happy. I am jubilant. Hi guys, hello in the chat from DLive and YouTube. How are you? I'm also live on CloutHub, by the way. So back in April of 2020, I did this piece. Could CDC data prove COVID infections in November of 2019? And included in my article is the U.S. military World Games. There were a few other outlets that picked this up. I believe, I'm not going to quote myself here, but I was one of the first to talk about this correspondence. And I did it by using the CDC's influenza-like illness data in Washington state and other states to demonstrate why it is that I thought that this virus came from the Wuhan military games. And I provided the graphs that were made by a dear friend of mine using the CDC data to provide the charts. So if you look at Washington state here, you could see in 2019, very early in November, what we get. A peak in people going to the doctor with reports of influenza-like illness. And the reason why I said this is because I was looking for reasons why we didn't need to shut the country down for 14 days and arguing that we had infections already going on before anybody knew it was called COVID-19. I explain all of this in here, and I talked about this. And I talked about Washington and Italy, and this piece evoked a bunch of response from members of Congress and the Senate. And I did provide it to teams of staffers with the background information, all the spreadsheets and stuff like that. Well, today, the Washington Post comes out with a piece. Opinion: Congress is investigating whether the 2019 military World Games in Wuhan was a COVID-19 superspreader event. And it goes through here about the military World Games, who was sick and who wasn't. And just this week, Mike Gallagher, who's a representative in Wisconsin, wrote a letter to Lloyd Austin and Mark Milley, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, right here, which goes through why they want to look into this and what information that they're looking for to get there. Now, I'm just sharing this because here's my video back on April 5th, 2020, where I go through all of this in the video. And as a matter of fact, I took a ton of requests to do people's states to show the ILI, and I pulled charts in real time for people in this video. So if you want to go back, it'll be linked in the description box below. You guys can go back and you can take a look at your state because I pretty much did everybody. Anybody in the chat that went through and asked me to look at their state and you know when this happened there, I did it for them. And here's the thing. We work really, 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 really hard at Uncover DC. And just seems to me over the past, I don't know, few weeks, maybe few months, all of these stories and reporting that we did earlier in 2020 and 2019 start coming back as, quote, mainstream accepted narratives. And our stories are sourced, they're factual, they're relevant, they are not published without the facts and data behind them. And we work really, really hard to do that for you guys. Really hard. So you're informed a year, sometimes a year and a half more or sooner than the general, quote, public who are brainwashed into thinking that whatever comes out on the television is what they should be listening to. And I just wanted to point this out because you guys knew this a year ago. A lot of other people reported on this in May and June. It was not something that was, unique to just Uncover DC. However, nobody else, and I'm telling you this right now for a fact, backed it up with hard data from a government agency the way that Uncover DC did. Nobody else did. So I needed to say this because it's exciting. It's exciting. And in terms of the Ron DeSantis thing that everybody is saying right now, there is also, hold on, I'll show it to you. I'm going to pull it up here. Uncover DC, Florida. A year ago, on July 9th of 2020, I published this, decades-old Florida legislation, vaccination or treatment by any means necessary. This goes through the history of this statute, when it was created, who was responsible for it, and, whatever. I'm not saying anything other than Ron DeSantis needs to know that this is in here. This thing has been grandfathered in over and over and over and over again. So I'm just telling you guys, I wanted to thank you. Why do I want to thank you? Because a good percentage of you guys support what we do at Uncover DC financially. And I'm not one, and it's detrimental to me to go out constantly asking for financial support for what we do. I just don't it's a bad thing because I need it. I need help. I need help to continue doing this. It is not something that doesn't cost money. It is a labor of love. And I don't like to do it, but I wanted to thank the people out there who are supporting us monthly at Uncover DC because you made this possible. You made it possible for me to spend I don't even know how many hours I spent on this. Gosh, I would say I worked on this piece for a straight week. Literally 24 hours. 18 hours a day trying to make sure that I was 100% on this stuff before I released it. And I had just done, maybe just the past 2 weeks, I've done about 15 or 20 interviews on radio about this. As a matter of fact, I just did one yesterday. I'll show it to you. Hold on. I just did one yesterday. And it's interesting to me too, because in this piece, they talk about how one of the things that I brought up in all the interviews that I did was that the Chinese government propagandized in the very early stages. They're always propagandizing, but they started accusing the U.S. military of causing the pandemic. And that is listed in here. The State Department's only consideration of the Wuhan Military World Games came when the Chinese Foreign Ministry began citing the event in its own propaganda in March 2020. And I saw that and I was like, that's very strange. And everybody was like, there's just the Chinese. They don't know what they're talking about. But, you guys know, you read into this stuff more. You understand how this stuff works. You're the most brilliant people on the face of the planet. And I am so blessed to have all of you. I am. I really am. We are so smart and we're smart way sooner than everybody else. So again, thank you so much. Because again, I was approached by legislators on this. I provided literally spreadsheets after spreadsheets, the mechanisms, instructions, all of my detailed research. Everything that I did, I graciously handed over to the teams that were investigating this angle. It took, 14 months for it to come out and finally start to gain some traction in the form of some action. But this is why what we do is so important. This is why independent journalism is so important. Honest, independent journalism with integrity is so important because of these very things that we're seeing happen today. So if you would like to support Uncover DC, you can go to uncoverdc.com, click on the support button. $5 a month, guys. $5 a month. That's $60 a year. $5 a month would go such a long way for us. Such a long way. And I really appreciate your support, guys. Also, personally, on a personal sort of tip, if you guys are interested, some of you may be, some of you may not, but I am starting up my locals community hardcore. I'm about to launch it. I'm going to be doing little videos of myself sitting there, talking about stuff that come out in the news, I'm going to use it, the same way that I would have used Twitter before, and just get connected with you guys more again on a platform that's friendly, that'll allow me the opportunity to do that. So I will provide the community name is tracybeans.locals.com if you guys want to get in before the getting gets hot over on Locals. And I'm thankful for everyone who's over with me on Subscribestar as well. I know I don't go live as much as I used to, and it's only because I am so busy. But this I could not pass up. Congratulations and thank you. Have a fantastic day, guys.